Namaskar, I welcome you all to the digital media of Uday India. In India Things today, I will tell that the government has announced the special section of Parliament. But what issues will be discussed at the extraordinary Parliament section that will take place between 18th September and to 22nd September. Whether it will be a one nation, one election measure, uniform civil code, women's reservation bill, population control legislation, or universal income plan, suspense is very high all over the nation, and the tension is anticipated to be resolved when Speaker Om Birla calls a meeting of the business advisory family. That business advisory panel, that is 15-member body that includes opposition members and distributes the agenda papers in advance of the planned session as per the protocol. And it is within the right of a majority government to call for a early assembly elections. The 70th Lok Sabha may be dissolved early as anticipated without parliamentary approval. Therefore, the special parliamentary section must include some ornamental or substantive legislative work, and that must fructify or produce electoral benefits within next 6 months. The Uniform Civil Code or the Universal Income Program would seem good in such a situation. The Women's Reservation Bill, population control laws, and one nation, one election would all face legal obstacles in the meantime. However, given the media hysteria and speculative evidence, simultaneous assembly elections in as many as 12 states with the general elections appears to be highly likely. And if we believe to the available sources, a new committee led by former President Ramnath Kovind will examine the viability of India's one nation, one election system or nationwide simultaneous national and state elections, making significant advancement on the long discussed proposal. The action was taken by a day after the centre announced that the parliament would have an extraordinary session from September 18 to September 22nd without releasing any agenda. And there are intense rumors that a bill on one nation, one election will be introduced during the session, followed by unexpected statement, but no one from the government has verified this. So, what is one nation, one election program? We must know. The one nation, one election ONOE, the program is a proposal to hold simultaneous elections for the Lok Sabha, the lower house of parliament, and all state assemblies across India. This means that election would be held every 5 years instead of the current system where Lok Sabha elections are held every 5 years and state assembly elections are held at different times in different states. The One Nation, One Election program was first proposed by National Democratic Alliance government in 2014, and the government had argued that One Nation, One Election program would save money, reduce the burden on the electorate and improve the efficiency of governance. Now, why did the Indian government form a panel to look into One India, One Election program? One must know that also. The Indian government has formed a panel to look into One India, One Election program because there are a number of challenges that need to be addressed before the program can be implemented. And these challenges includes this: the need to amend the constitution to allow for simultaneous elections, the need to ensure that all states are ready for simultaneous elections, the need to address the concern of opposition parties who have raised concerns about the impact of one nation, one election program on federalism structure. And let us now see what are the pros and cons of the One India, One Election program. This ONOE program has both pros and cons. And now first I will speak about the pros. The One Nation, One Election program would save money, and government estimates that it would save around 5,000 crore or 5,000 crore rupees per million. The One Nation, One Election program would reduce the burden on the electorate, and voters should only have to vote once in 5 years instead of multiple times. The ONOE program would improve the efficiency of governance also, and there would be less time between elections, which would allow the government to focus on governing instead of campaigning. Now I will speak about the cons. The One India, One Nation, One Election program would be challenging to implement in India, because it would require amending the constitution and ensuring that all states are ready for simultaneous elections. The ONOE program would be unpopular with opposition parties. They have raised concerns that the ONOE program would give the ruling party an unfair advantage. The ONOE program could lead to instability. If the ruling party loses power in the Lok Sabha elections, it could also lose power in the state assemblies. So this could lead to political instability. Now, how have opposition leaders reacted to ONOE program? The opposition has reacted cautiously to the ONOE program. Some opposition leaders have supported the idea, while others have expressed concerns about the impact of program on the federalism. The Congress party, the main opposition party, has said that it is open to the idea of simultaneous elections, but only if it is implemented in a way that does not undermine federalism. The party has also said that it wants to see a detailed proposal from the government before it takes a final decision on the issue. The Trinamool Congress, another major opposition party, has said that it is opposed to the ONOE program. The party has argued that the program would give the ruling party an unfair advantage and would undermine federalism. Then what is the way forward now? We must tell that also. The Indian government is still in the early stages of exploring the ONOE program. The panel formed by the government will submit its report in the next few months. The government will then need to decide whether to implement the ONOE program, and if so, how to do it. The ONOE program is a complex issue with no easy solutions. The government will need to carefully consider the pros and cons of the program before making a final decision, and the opposition party will also need to be involved in the process to ensure that the program is implemented in a way that is fair to all. Friends, one hopes that this ONOE program is good for the country. Now the implementation part, if the ruling party and opposition speaks with each other, and if the way out, if they can find out, no doubt this will be a great for the nation or for a biggest democracy of the world. Stay tuned with Uday India.